if you don't have the passion, that's, it's a recipe for failure, I think. If you're passionate about something, you'll find your way. I also think, talking to people do like, people like to talk about themselves, believe it or not, probably no surprise. But, I do think that people aren't willing to put themselves out there,
right,
and ask questions and go up to somebody and say, hey, do you have 5 minutes? I'd love to sit and talk with you about your career and how you got into this business, or, what drives you. So I think, really just networking and talking to people who have been there, done that. Make it more informational. You're not asking for anything. You're just, more than advice and starting to learn about maybe what their path was.
Welcome to the Art of Rebounding, where setbacks become setups and your bounce back is your breakthrough. I'm your host, Harold Lefty Williams, former pro athlete, motivator, and believer in second chances. Each week, we'll dive deep into stories and strategies built on positioning, persistence, and purpose to help you rise, rebuild, and reclaim your next chapter. This isn't just a podcast. No, it's not. A lot of people it is. For me, it's not. This isn't just a podcast. It's your permission to rise again, but this time with purpose. I'm super duper excited to have this guest on today. My main man, as they would say, he's an award-winning film producer, award-winning executive television producer, and a very, 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 very dear friend and brother of mine. Welcome to the show, Scott Paskoff.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Good to be here.
Man, it's good to see you, man.
Well, listen, we've been talking about this a long time, so it's good to be sitting in this chair.
This is good. Listen, so obviously the Art of Rebounding is all about bouncing back.
Yep.
You heard the opening. Let's go dive right into, what it took, because you've been in this space almost 30 years.
30 years in September.
Yeah, that's a long time. You've
it's coming on.
Yeah, you're an OG in this. Yeah. So tell me, do
I look it?
No,
I used to have hair, man.
Yeah. So tell me, take me back from where it started.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ever since I'm a little kid, I tell you, looking at that TV screen, maybe 3, 4, if my earliest memories serve me correctly, I could remember watching TV going, I'm going to do that. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to do that. I saw the credits rolling, and it was shows that we all knew, It was, some of the earliest memories, think of 70s and 80s TV, but one that we have been talking about for a long time, and one that I remember growing up watching every episode was Good Times, But the list goes on. That's just one of so many. And I just literally remember watching all kinds of TV going, whatever that is, as those names are coming up, I'm going to do that. So, 25 years ago, moved out to L.A., started as a PA. I actually started in advertising, working my way through the 30-second spot sales team. It was a good job. It was a steady job. It was a low-paying job, but it was a job in television. I was still a little afraid to do that freelance thing, and I had the steady gig, a corporate job, wearing the suit. And then one day, about 5 years into my career, I decided it's time to take that leap off the cliff and go freelance. And freelance. Back then, even now, it's scary because, you're living basically not paycheck to paycheck necessarily, but you're living job to job,
right?
And it's like one job ends and you got to figure out what the next one is. So you're always hustling for that next job, right?
Yeah, but look at where you're from. Tell the listeners where you're from.
Yeah, I grew up in Long Island, New York.
Yeah.
As they say, you can take the boy out of New York, but you can't take New York out of the boy. So I think coming from New York and growing up around the city a lot, New York City, again, I'm a kid of the 70s and 80s. You definitely exposed to a lot. I went to college out in Arizona, where you meet people who, you feel like were much more sheltered than you were growing up in New York, where you see a lot more, especially in the city. Maybe not so much out in Long Island where I grew up, but we were in Manhattan all the time. I was 14 years old. I remember my parents were letting me go into the city by myself with my friends, unchaperoned, to go see the Knicks or go see the Rangers or go see a sporting event, just by ourselves, which, you think about now. I got a 10-year-old. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
I don't think I'd be doing that. But we saw a lot, and we did a lot, and we grew up pretty quickly out there,
It's a different grind. It's a different hustle. It's a different, a different work ethic.
Yeah.
And so you took that, and you got out here. You said, okay, I'm going to start from the bottom.
Yep.
Advertising, PA, built your way up. Now you come to a moment where you're like, because a lot of people, those of you listening who think that this is just an easy move for you or this is an easy jump for you, this wasn't easy. And then you turned this into being nominated for an Emmy.
Yep, couple times.
Excuse me.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, so no, pop your collar. That's good because take us through that. What was that like? Listen, I hope everyone's enjoying the podcast. I wanted to get a chance to come on and tell you quickly that I have a brand new book that's getting ready to come out. It's called, you guessed it, The Art of Rebounding. I'm going to help you bounce back. I'm going to show you different ways on how you can position yourself. I'm going to show you how you can persevere, how you too can get through to grab control and position yourself into the purpose that you want to see. So make sure that you go to theartofrebounding.com to join the waiting list. Head on over to theartofrebounding.com to join the waiting list. If you haven't gotten a chance to follow or subscribe to the audio side of the show, make sure you go to iHeart Radio and do that first. And then you can go to every other platform and do it as well. All right? Now, back to the show.
Yeah, like I said, ever since I was big, I always wanted to do whatever that was on the TV. So, one thing I definitely didn't have a lack of was work ethic. I always knew that if I came out to Hollywood, or really anywhere for that matter, but I always wanted to come here, I would succeed because I knew I would always outwork everybody.
Right.
And I still do that to this day. 30 years into my career, I'm still grinding, still hustling. All the time.
But talk about what you were nominated for.
Yeah. So over my career, I started working on all kinds of different shows. I was at VH1. I was at MTV. This is early days of unscripted television, mainly. We've been dabbling in the scripted space and had some little successes doing some documentaries. You and I have done ours together. Also award-winning. I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute. But I started in unscripted TV where when we knew everybody. I mean, literally, it was such a new genre of television that there was not one person you didn't know who was working in it. Now it's matured, and there's people all over this industry, and especially in unscripted. So when I started, I was working on a lot of the MTV shows. When MTV actually mattered to people, I don't think anybody even knows what that is anymore. But
the Real Worlds,
it was the Real Worlds. Yeah, it was all that. I worked. I did. I want to work for Diddy. I did the challenge. I did the Real World Road Rules challenge. I did some stuff with Steve-O from Jackass. I did I Love Money on VH1. I love that show. I did. Yeah, it was a fun show. It got to travel the world on other people's dimes. So I started doing all those shows. And then you get to a point, where I think, you well, at least for me, where you can start working on shows that mattered to you.
Right.
It wasn't just a paycheck. And then not that those were. I met a lot of great people. A lot of them are still my friends today. It was foundation building. But you do get to a point where you're like, all right, I don't want to work on, as I like to say, lowest common denominator anymore. I want to work on something that matters. So I started developing a show about in the lifestyle space. I love the home space. I was selling all kinds of shows to HGTV back in the day. I had a handful of shows. One of them got nominated for an Emmy. We did 4 episodes. Just a small little show. We didn't think much of it. It was called The Beach Life, but they ended up calling it Build Small, Live Anywhere, which is like, just because you can't have the house in Malibu or on top of the mountain in Beverly Hills doesn't mean you can't have, a nice place on the water, right? So we sort of like showed you that you can't have that, but you can have this. And it was a great show. So it was called Build Small, Live Anywhere. We got a daytime Emmy nomination for that.
Okay.
Didn't win, but that was like the first.
You got nominated.
I love it. Yeah, happy.
We
happy.
Can't have our cake and eat it.
That's right. We'll get to the wins later on in the podcast. But so after working on that, I moved over to another company, and I sold another show to HGTV. That one did not get nominated, but we did another, I think, 50 episodes.
Okay.
And then I hooked up with a charity in Detroit, Michigan. They were out of Pontiac, not far from where the Lions used to play.
Right.
And they were helping people who were coming out of homelessness get into homes. And a lot of it was through the churches. And it was, and you start to learn about homelessness, like, what do we know about it? You think it's just somebody who, is drinking or is on drugs. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It does, but it's a percentage, a small percentage of people who lose a job, have medical bills, or in a bad relationship. Right? There's all these other reasons that people, end up leaving their current residence. So this charity, this 501c3, it's called Humble Design. We couldn't name the show that, but we ended up naming the show Welcome Home. They were helping people emerge from those situations and putting them into houses in Detroit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, beautiful. So I was like, I want to do that, right? Because here's a show that I feel good about. I could, not that I didn't want my name on shows. Everybody wants that credit, and, but this is one I was proud to, to be a part of and promote. So we did 26 half hours of that show, and first season got nominated for Best Series. Second season got nominated Best Hosts. Sorry, first season. It was the same season. It just kept extending. Got nominated for Best Host. And we, like I said, we did 26 half hours. It still lives out there today. You could probably find it on like Pluto, I believe CW. It's out there in the world. It's just not currently airing originals anymore. That was the first. Yeah, that was the first time I got a real nomination. Even though the other one was a real nomination, but this was one that I really had my fingerprints all over. Yeah, I was all over it in terms of creative development. Like it was my show.
The identity, yeah. I mean, for me, like it hit home for me because I'm from the hood. I come from nothing. Yeah. A lot of people claim they from the hood. I'm from the hood. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so when I hear certain things like that, it touches my heart because I come from nothing. You know what I mean? To be able to, see that somebody cares enough to reach back to pull somebody forward, that's important. I hope that you are enjoying the Art of Rebounding. Do me a favor. I need you to hit that subscribe button. Also need you to like, comment, share. Do it for me. Do it for your boy, Harold Lefty Williams. Always remember, dare to dream. So it's really important, man, and kudos to that. Yeah. What would you say, there's a listener out there listening, there's someone watching this. What do you say to someone who wants to get into the space and they're like, but I've had this delay, I've had this in the way, and it's just been tough for me, and I just don't know. Yeah, that sounds good, and that's cool for you, but I just don't see that for me. What would you say to that person? Yeah, I don't know if there's one answer for that question, but there's a generic answer I think that applies to everybody. A couple things. Number one, you got to put a little bit of money away for yourself just to be able to move out to LA and have that foundation. That's first and foremost. I remember doing that myself. Making I think $19,000 a year my first year out of college, which was like crazy to think about how little that is. And two is passion. Like you got to be passionate about something. So if you don't have the passion, that's it's a recipe for failure. I think if you're passionate about something, you'll find your way. I also think talking to people do like people like to talk about themselves. Believe it or not, probably no surprise, but I do think that people aren't willing to put themselves out there, right, and ask questions and go up to somebody and say, hey, do you have 5 minutes? I'd love to sit and talk with you about your career and how you got into this business, or what drives you. So I think really just networking and talking to people who have been there, done that. Make it more informational. You're not asking for anything. You're just, more than advice and starting to learn about maybe what their path was. So passion, talking, and also figuring out, there's a lot of different things you can do in Hollywood, as and as a family knows, you got to find what you like to do. So that's where the passion comes in. Like, because if you're not interested in post-production and you find yourself working, as a post PA, running, well, back in the day used to be running tape back and forth. Now they just send an email, but you're in a edit bay all day long, and it's dark and that's not where your passion is. That's not going to work for you, right? You're gonna quickly figure out I don't like what I'm doing here. So you do want to try almost a little bit of everything and figure out what you like the best. Because it could very well be something that you didn't think of. You're like, oh man, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed, doing, post-production VFX or being in the field on a TV show. So I think passion, talking to people, and really sort of honing in on what it is that you want to do, because there's so many different aspects to a TV show. I always said TV isn't about making television; it's about producing people to get a result. And that could be people behind the camera or people in front of the camera. I've realized in doing our show, which we'll get to, that it's so many different moving parts. Exactly. And so many different things have to go right in order for you just to sell a show. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right? Yep. Just to sell a show. Yeah. Yep. Then so many things have to go right for you to be able to go multiple seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And then to keep rolling it out.
Yep.
So we come together about a basketball project.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's at home.
I remember it well.
And everyone's on punishment. Can't come outside. And so we start talking about things that are very dear to me about basketball.
Yeah.
And what's dear to you about people doing the right thing and treating people the way they want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And that resonated with me, and which is one of the reasons why I was excited to partner with you.
Yeah.
Which turned into a brotherhood that's like supersedes the business.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
I do.
So
And that doesn't happen with everybody.
no, it doesn't.
For you or for me. Like,
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Well,
you connect with certain people for a reason.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I'm the way me and my family move, we move based off of tribe. So
Mm-hmm.
God placed people in your life for three. There's three different things that you need to figure out: for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And it's our job to figure out which is it?
Yeah,
Is this my tribe? Is
Yeah.
this just a season?
Yeah.
Is this just for a reason?
Yeah.
Am I meant to bless them and then bless them on their way?
Mm-hmm.
Did you bring them in life to bless me? For us, it was a tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, we're connected for life. This is my bro.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And then we thought we had something great. I like to know I know talent.
Yeah.
You clearly know talent,
Yeah.
being nominated for
Yeah.
awards and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But that wasn't our story.
That's right.
So we
That's-
talk about bouncing back and rebounding.
Yeah.
It took us a long effing time.
That's the thing. This
to
whole
sell that
business,
show.
This whole business is about the art of rebounding.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like you're living the definition of crazy, where
Right.
you're doing the same thing over and over,
Right.
expecting a different result.
Right.
And just think about it. I was having this conversation today. 95, maybe 98% of
Mm-hmm.
all projects that are pitched on TV never see the light of day.
It's crazy.
So you're talking about a winning percentage of like 2 to 5%.
Yeah.
So most things don't get made.
Yeah.
Very small percentage do. So
Great ideas.
But if you're passionate about something, and film is even more so. And I know your family knows that better than most. But if you're not passionate about a feature film project, then you might as well just stop.
Right.
Developing or pursuing it right away, because that's a good 10 years of your life before maybe you see the light of day, right? TV's a little faster, not much, but yeah, you got to have that passion, and you got to have that rebound, because you're going to be told no a lot. You got to have that thick skin, and we were told no, right?
That's what I'm about to
and,
say.
And by the way, the show that was initially pitched to me, through you and your partner at the time, wasn't the same show that I attached to, because I felt like I've heard that, I've seen that. We don't want to do that again.
Right.
That's another thing. Like when we're doing stuff, and you're learning that through me and other partners of yours, and we're doing it together. You always want to come out with something, even though everything feels like a derivative of something else in this town. And over time, you just want to be offering something to the audience that they probably haven't heard before, or even information within the content that you're delivering to them that they don't know. Right?
That's true.
And that's what we did. Like, everybody knows the Globetrotters. But the story we told was a story nobody knew
No one
about,
had ever heard.
Right? So we weren't
Or
gonna
ever
make,
thought would ever come to light of day.
That's exactly right. Otherwise, we could have just done the, joy of Globetrotter life. And
Right.
we could have talked about Sweet Georgia Brown and,
Right.
and the joy you brought to millions of fans, which we did. But there was the other side of it, as life is nuanced.
Right.
It's not all happy times. There's can I curse on this podcast?
I mean,
There's some shit that goes down in
Yeah.
life that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
And that's the story we wanted to tell. That's the story I wanted to tell.
Right.
So yeah, we got told no a lot. But all good things are meant to be. If it's meant to be, it'll come around.
Listen, this is what
and
I
it
say.
did. It did come around.
I say if it's for you, you can't lose it. But if it's not for you, you can't keep it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was for us.
It was for us.
Not only was it for us, so it gets aired.
we didn't give up.
We didn't give up. No, we know, because we positioned ourselves and we kept our eyes on things.
Yeah.
And we went after what was already making its way to us.
And if you know a good story, which I know you do, and I certainly feel like I do, you like the world needs to hear this.
Yeah.
And I can't stop pushing to have this story told.
So time is running out, but we end up getting nominated for best docuseries episode.
Yep.
and we end up winning.
Yep.
I got a
Surprise.
chance to surprise. Yeah, I got a chance to share the stage with you. We'll
I should have
show-
brought it with me. I should have brought it here.
Yeah, we'll show some of the video footage and
Nice.
stuff for you guys to see. We got Scott Paskoff, we got Andy Sherry, and I was able to do this with my son, EJ Williams. So I'm excited. We also want to thank Matt and our partners at Spring Hill, My Entertainment. Am I leaving anybody out?
No, that's everybody. It's been 3 years in the making, and we're very proud.
It took us, thank you for saying that, Scott. It's been 3 years in the making. So everybody who have a vision, have a dream, hold on to it. And it was good, man.
It was amazing.
You know,
Yeah.
not everybody get to say, man, I did a project with LeBron. That's pretty cool.
No.
You know?
Project with LeBron.
Yeah.
Got to get, your boy in there as
Yeah,
well.
my son,
he's a man now.
My son EJ got his first executive
EP
producer credit.
And
at the
I'm
age
proud
of,
to be a part of
he's
that.
16 now.
Yeah.
At the age of 15, he got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, no, was he? Yeah, well, at the time, well, he had just turned 16, so yeah, 15. But anyway, it was pretty cool. And it's on Apple TV. It's
Yep.
on Hulu.
Apple TV, Hulu.
It's on Vice Sports.
Yep. You
Yep.
can find it. I think you can find it on YouTube as well.
And you can find it on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there.
And
It's
so
out
we
there.
moving?
It's called The Greatest Hoop Show of All Time.
Yeah.
Part of a bigger series.
Bigger series of
called,
the real stories of basketball.
Uninterrupted, The Real Stories of
Uninterrupted.
Basketball.
Yep. And so shout out to them because, I mean, that was pretty cool to getting that vehicle of transportation to move us where we need to be. What's going on? I hope everyone's enjoying the podcast. Listen, I have a brand new hot honey that's getting ready to come out. That's right. You heard it right. Hot honey. Harold Lefty Williams hot honey. Listen, when flavor meets fire, legends are made. and this is what we put together. I've teamed up with Creative Fire Kiln and Kitchen, and we came up with the Honey Bee Hotness. This is amazing. Shout out to Creative Fire Kiln and Kitchen. Thank you for the opportunity to have this collab and have my own Honey Bee Hotness. For more information on this, go to honeybeehotness.com. honeybeehotness.com. Like, share, comment on this episode. Hope you're enjoying it. Now back to the show. As we wrapping up, man, I can't let you sit on this podcast and we not talk sports.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So we got a very small window, but you're putting together your Avengers,
Yeah.
right? This is your Navy SEAL team. This is your go-to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to debate and argue with not one guess about they five.
Yeah, yeah.
This new generation, I'm allergic to because they five change all the time.
Yep.
I don't really know, like me,
Yep.
my five will never change.
Never.
Ever.
Okay.
No. My five will
Okay.
never change.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hear people talking about, oh, well, if you got Mike, you don't really need Kobe. They
Yeah.
do the same. Listen, get the job done.
you
I'm
want
sending
both?
in the SEALs. I need both of them on my squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't make me choose because I'm going to choose Kobe always.
Yeah.
Although I feel deep, like a 3,000%, you don't get Kobe without Mike,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
then you can go back and say you don't get, someone else, Mike without someone else. There's
without
always
Oscar. Yeah.
Yeah, you just keep
Yeah.
building on the legacy. But
Yeah.
anyway, what is your five?
Okay.
You're sending them in, and if you need a six, that six person could really start, but they just coming off the
I
bench.
don't want my feet to show on TV,
Yeah.
but I will. This is my Kobe croc right there. So
Okay.
I got to start with Kobe. 'Cause,
All right. So you
I
got
I got,
Kobe.
I got a whole croc dedicated to him.
All right, we got
And he's a
Kobe.
legend in my house.
Yeah.
Definitely Kobe.
Uh-huh.
I would say, two old schools that I
Okay.
love. I didn't grow up on them, but
Okay.
I knew enough about them through my pops and who was a basketball fan. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there going, this guy's crazy. But I'd say Bill Russell,
Oh, Bill,
11 championships in 13 seasons.
he's a winner.
He's got a pretty good track record. Mm-hmm. I like Oscar Robertson.
Oh, okay. Shout
Average
out.
a triple-double in his career. Can't be mad
Two more?
at that. Two more. Man, so we got Kobe, we got Oscar, and we got
Bill.
Bill. I think people might not agree with this either, but with those three guys, I wouldn't mind having a Bernard King on that team.
Bernard was an
He
amazing
was a
scorer, man.
Great scorer. And I'm a Knick fan.
Bernard was the real deal.
Yeah, and I'm torn on the fifth.
Okay. Well, you got
know,
a sub.
I like Pistol Pete. I think Pistol Pete
Okay.
was a flashy player.
Yeah.
In a time where people weren't really being flashy. But it's hard not to put Larry Bird on that too, I think,
Right.
Just as a guy who could just shoot the lights out of a ball. I mean, there's so many, but I would go with, I'll go with Larry.
Okay.
And then I almost feel
That's
like
a good squad.
I feel like my last one would be Steph. My number 6 would be Steph.
That's a pretty good. I mean, listen, it's your
yeah.
squad. That's your squad. That's what you
I don't
say.
know where I rank in the basketball.
Yeah.
But that's my squad.
Listen,
it spans the decades. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
what
couldn't
matters.
have you on and we not at least talk about it.
Oh, I need to
So
know
there,
yours,
so
Albert.
yeah,
What's yours?
because I don't want you to look back and say, man, you talked sports with this one, that one. Why you didn't get to
Well,
me?
yeah,
we
especially because we did a basketball documentary.
yeah.
together.
So we got to talk sports, right? Yeah. So listen,
Who's yours though?
mine.
Yeah, you said you wouldn't change it. So
I'm not changing my 5. My 5 is Magic,
yeah,
Kobe,
he's worthy.
Mike, right? Shaq.
Oh yeah.
I'm sending in the Navy SEALs. I'm sending in the whole squad, right?
Yeah.
What I say? Kobe, Magic,
Yep.
Mike,
Yep. Shaq.
Shaq, Steph, and then LeBron.
Yeah. Well, yeah. LeBron should be in my
That's
top
like-
6.
that's
LeBron
my
should be on
whole-
my top 6. But
Yeah, I mean that's my
He should
6.
be.
But if I'm
Yeah.
gonna go there, that's my whole. That's
maybe,
it.
Maybe AI could put our teams against each other.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
See who comes out.
Well, listen.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you. You
Thank
know, I
you.
love you, man.
Love
Thank
you
you
too.
for being on the show.
Thank you.
You already know I appreciate you.
Love being here.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And we're going to have you back again. So
was
don't
quick.
even
That was
worry
fast.
about that.
Yeah.
No, we're going to have you back. We're
Thank
going to have
you.
you back. That's it for today's episode of The Art of Rebounding. Remember, the fall isn't what defines you. It's how you rise that writes your legacy. Whether you're rebounding from a loss, recentering your purpose, or just learning how to stand again, know this. You're not alone. You are not alone. You were made for more. You were built to bounce back. Trust me. Believe me. It's going to be all right. Until next time, keep showing up. Keep positioning yourself. Keep pushing with purpose because your rebound, it's not just coming. It's already in motion. Find me on social media at LeftyWilliams42. I'm always down to hear more about your comebacks and how you were able to box out the opposition and keep moving forward. Until next time, always remember, dare to dream.